All the albums that I've made in the past, we've always had an orchestra on, and it's been an element of the record making which I've enjoyed so much. It's been so beautiful, it's been so wonderful to kind of go into the studio and, you know, you've got the rhythm track down and you've got a basic vocal, but you'll go in the studio and, you know, you'll put the orchestra on. And on a few occasions, maybe a handful of occasions, I've actually sung with the orchestra, which has been probably the greatest feeling in the whole wide world.
Better than a dream, stranger than my wild imagination. If this is a real sensation, it's better than a dream. Crazy and in confusion, and better than a dream.
This time round, I really wanted to make an album where the bassist was the orchestra. And really the perfect person that I knew to do that with was Mike Batt, you know, my long-time collaborator and producer. Mike is a beautiful arranger, and it's very subtly and wonderfully done, but it is the heart of the album, and that's what makes this record different to the others.
And if we'd get up off our knees, why then we'd see the forest for the trees, and we'd see the new sun rising over the hills on the horizon. There's gold in them hills, there's gold in them hills, so don't lose faith. Give the world a chance to say.
Well, a lot of people just put strings on a record, but what's different about this is that the choosing of the songs and the compiling of the songs and the writing of the songs were done in a way that, you know, the orchestra was always kept in mind. There was an awful lot of experimentation going on with this album, a lot of trying this and trying that, in the end to get to something that was quite calm and sort of beautiful and sophisticated.
You're like a secret symphony that was created just for me. Some knowing mind, some guiding hand must have designed, must have planned it.
When we set out to make this album, I really had no intention of writing because I wanted to just make it a singer's album. I just wanted to sing my heart out. But as often with creative things, you know, things don't always go to plan, and I did end up writing a couple of songs with Mike, which I'm really proud of, and one song that I wrote on my own. And it's amazing that you can, you know, set out to do one thing and then it just sort of changes path.
There's a silence, the ending darkness feels when you're singing with love. Remembering life, a good blessed life. I'm forgetting all my troubles. I'm forgetting all my troubles.
Personally, I don't sort of think too much about singing. In my mind, there's never any thoughts of getting the note right or, you know, how my voice sounds or putting a certain timbre on it or anything like that. It's just about saying what the lyrics are saying. It's very straightforward. I think also because I wasn't so concerned about writing for this album, that kind of takes that pressure off a little bit. And so you don't have to worry about your own words and saying your own words in a certain way. You know, they're someone else's words and you can kind of, you know, kind of go inside them and live in them and sort of, you know, it's almost like an empty piece of cloth or like an outfit that you can just wander into and just dance around in. So instead of a dress that you've made yourself, you know, you get someone like Ralph Lauren to make it and it's far more fabulous. Fits really nicely.
Well, this is a record by Francoise Hardy and it has on it All Over the World, which is a song that we've actually covered.
Meet and part. There's someone like me feeling the pain in their heart. Some may meet again under that same white star. If maybe some night back from afar.
On the last record, there was a case of, you know, spending a month recording everything, just getting everything down, not even looking at it there and then the next month, sifting through everything and really picking out the best bits and the interesting bits and the bits that go and just kind of chopping them up and placing them in different parts of the song. So it was a big editing process. On this record, it's slightly more organic. You know, we kind of record it and then we pretty much use it as is, apart from a few sort of edits and things like that.
The bit that I don't get is how it changed so fast. How it changed from we will always be together to it will never last. Writing on the wall, I hadn't seen it yet. When you told me you were tired of it all, that's the bit that I don't get.
Over a period of 2-3 months, we made the album and we did about 4 or 5 string sessions. You use this you know, software called Pro Tools, which is pretty much what everyone uses these days, and it lets you. It's like an old tape machine. It lets you cut and paste it into a different section, into any section that you want. And you could put it through different filters, and you can do whatever you want with it, which is amazing what technology can do these days. I absolutely loved filming the cover for this album. And often with these things, it ended up being completely not what we planned to do. We actually had a big old sort of empty orchestra chairs and instruments lying around, and that was the idea, that I was going to be in front of this sort of empty orchestra stadium. And we took those pictures and they came out well. But then there was this frame lying around in the studio and someone suggested, you know, what would it be like if I was sort of in the middle of that frame? And we tried it and I had this dress on which I just really loved and I felt really comfortable in. And after, you know, taking the pictures, you know, in that situation, everyone just came up to me and said, that's got to be the album cover. I think any time you make a record, it's always a reflection of how you're feeling in your life and where you're at. And this is a tranquil and sort of smooth and calm album, and that definitely reflects, you know, where I'm at the moment. There isn't a lot of angst in it, and that's just kind of wonderful to be able to be feeling good and to be making music that makes you feel good too.
for life or a day, for real or pretend. If I had my way, this feeling would never end. You're like an angel playing with my heartstrings. You're asking me not to leave you, and baby, that makes me smile. Let's get a house with a sea view, forever or just for a little while. We'll drink some champagne, we'll look at the stars and do it again. 'Cause baby, the world is ours. You're like an angel playing with my heartstrings. Sometimes I think we're only on a day trip to Disney.